Okay, people. Do you see all this paperwork? Huh? I'm at the end of my ink. You know, provincial government. Hold on a minute. Provincial government wants you to live on thin air. Honest to God. I'm starting to think they don't want to help you with your rent. They don't want to help you with your hydros. They don't want to help you with basic necessities. Whether you're a person with disabilities or multiple barriers or an able-bodied person, I honestly don't think that they want to help anyone other than those who make $80,000 a year and up under Christy Clark's idea of what a successful single mother is.
Sorry?
I'm doing a video. I'm talking about how I've basically started to run out of ink.
Yeah, I did a couple pages of my homework.
Yeah, well, I did more than a couple pages today. I'm fighting for Mr. Lace. He's going in front of City Council. And the city, in regards to the 3 tires that I have in my yard and the toys that I brought home from spring cleanup, in addition to the toys that I already have here, with the miscellaneous wood pieces that a lot of it was donated from Home Depot that I haven't been able to use it all up yet because some things are still in the making, and of course we know I don't have any money to pay guys to come and finish, you know, the things that need to be made. And if I do have the money, it goes out the door, and as soon as it's out the door, I got social services on my ass now wanting me to hand in this piece of paper and that piece of paper and more paper. So 25 papers later, I'm going to be putting in an envelope and dropping it off, and they'll let me know whether I qualify for a welfare check in July, because I got my family allowance, my child tax benefit credit or whatever for 2013 through my tax return. And because of that, I may not qualify now for, even though that's federal money. This is what this provincial government is doing. This is what they did with my grandson. When people sit up there and, well, you get money from this and you get money from there and you get money, and what the hell are you complaining about? Get up off your lazy ass and go get a job and get off the credits and the benefits. And, well, first of all, I didn't ask the provincial government to give me the money for my grandson like the way they are giving it to me, because they don't even list me as his grandmother. They list me as his foster care provider or the contractor under an agreement that at the time when we were in court, it was either go to trial, which had already been bypassed because when we had the trial date, all of a sudden one of the lawyers got sick and couldn't show up for trial. So it got postponed. So we waited a whole year to have a trial. All of a sudden, like I said, the lawyer got sick. Sierra's lawyer got sick, couldn't show up. So they postponed it. And then the next thing I know, I got my lawyer coming to me with the social worker saying, well, here, under this section, under that, act, you will have full guardianship, but the ministry will just stay in the background, and under a contract that you agree, if you do it this way, we'll provide you $800 a month for his care, right up until he's 12, and when he's 12, it goes to $900 a month. But that means I don't qualify for the federal child benefit, none of that stuff. So he's not that, and if I didn't choose that, people, if I didn't agree with that at that time, standing in the courthouse, my grandson could still be in foster care right now as we're fighting in court through a trial as to what happened to my daughter, what really happened to my daughter, and how it all came about that they even got Andre initially. So, no, it's not. And it's equal to what, $800 is almost equal to what is if he was fully registered to me as his grandmother And, you know, yes, I have sole guardianship and everything else, but at the end of the day, it's the provincial government that gives me the family allowance, gives me the GST returns, gives me any social assistance that I might qualify if he was with me under my file through social services. But you see, they won't do that because social services, and I told the lady when she wanted all this information, because they get right through the computer. They posted $1,800 and some odd dollars on my stub when I handed it back in. So when it came in, I phoned them up. I said, "Where did that money come from?" "Oh, well, that's from your child tax benefit." Blah. And I'm like, "Okay, so you posted that for me then?" Because what happens is as soon as the federal government pays into your account, it goes straight to the ministry office into their computer system. So that by the time you show up, they already know what you got from the federal government. Right? And they also know the ending balance. So now that they've got to the, now that I got it and I've spent it, right? Because I'm keeping with the plan as John would want me to, right? He doesn't want me to bail ship. Okay, we haven't gone this far in life, just turn around and turn my back on my family. And I sure in the hell don't think John came this far with us just to turn his back on the family. But because they separated my grandson's file, right? And they made it into some little contract where the ministry is always watching. It's just a financial. But they said, "Oh, don't worry, it's just financial." And I said, "Well, why are you doing it this way?" And this is how it was explained to me. Because when people are working, two people are working in a household, and a child falls into the, system because the parents are not able to look after the child. And then the ministry goes back to the family members, and they're working. But through the tax system, they don't qualify even if the child was in their care. Because their income bracket is just a little notch higher, they wouldn't qualify for the full benefit, right, of the child tax credit in terms of the federal government because their income is too high. So what happened was the provincial government made an arrangement with the federal government so that, you give us the money and then we'll allot that money to the care providers as they, are appointed, right, and approved by the judge. And then, we'll just update that every 2 years. Now, maybe for a working family, it might benefit them because then they get the full $800 and it's non-taxable. So the government can't take it away any more than the government can take away the $800 from me from being on social assistance. So it was made more to benefit the working couple or single person that was taking on the care of a child, right? Through the Ministry of Children and Family Development, through foster care, or even in this case mine, permanent guardianship. So those individuals, they wouldn't be able to qualify for the federal child tax benefit and all that other. They wouldn't be able to qualify for the GST because again, what has happened is the federal government has sent that kind of in a lump sum and then given it to the province, and then it's the province to decide how they want to spend it. But at the end of the day, it doesn't. All it's done is they give me that money to look after Andre. Okay. But then on the other hand, because he's not connected to my file, there's nothing really there to show that he's a dependent child, and therefore the social development and innovations, the Ministry of Social Development and Innovations, which is supposed to be the welfare department, the social assistance department, they've been non-stop harassing me for the last couple of years. In January of this year, before John went into the hospital, I handed in 3 bank statements because of child maintenance, which when they were taking it from me off my welfare check, they turned around again. It was a big money grab, people. They took all this money from the poorest of the poor, right? And then, people started squawking about it. And, maybe some people started threatening about suing, who knows. But all of a sudden, the BC Liberal government decided to change that rule. And I'm not even really too sure if people are still allowed to keep it if it comes in through child support, right? And then have it deducted off the welfare check. I just know that the ministry itself is not monitoring those files anymore. So anyway, because of all that crap, I already gave him 3 months of freaking bank statements in January. This is January, February, March, April, May. Not even 4 months later, I'm having to give him from May 1st up until the end of this month. Right? Because that's the way my bank statement. So they get 2 bank statements to track my every move, telling me on the phone that I'm supposed to spend the money, but I'm not supposed to spend the money. Like, which one am I supposed to do? Well, you better have spent the money. Because if you didn't spend the money, then you know for sure you're going to lose your welfare check in July. And if you have spent the money, well, then you better be prepared to save your receipts, because we might just do that little mini audit on you to determine whether you qualify for your $1,013 in July. Okay? And I said to the lady on the phone, I said, well, you know, you guys are kind of like harassing me because I just went through this, right? And don't forget, I already done the big audit too, right, in 2010 with nonprofit and everything, you know, and a little bank statement here and bank statement there. And, oh, well, you're getting hostile on the phone. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Because, first of all, people, I don't even have any more energy. Like, what I did today has drained me. I told Tisha, Tisha, say hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, did I not tell you today, Tisha, that if I die, this is going on YouTube, honest to God, if I die, you go after this government, because it's this government and the stress that they create on me without providing adequate health care for me. Not that I can even trust the health care system anymore, considering what they've done to Mr. John Duncan, my stepdad, and the rest of my children, and my grandson's feelings and their emotional, psychological well-being. Because that's telling you I'm not feeling very well. And a lot of it has to do with this unnecessary stress. Because now that they've separated the file successfully through the court and evaded a freaking trial, right? So they didn't have to be held accountable to what they did for this family for the 15 months that my grandson was in foster care, right? And how they got even to that position where they could have him in foster care for 15 months. Now, because he's over there on this file, right? And it's untouchable, they're just trying to run me ragged, people. And I'm not doing bad things. I paid some guys, I hired, since I got my family allowance back, I hired Bill and his buddy, Bill, again, right? And then 2 more guys, so that's Bill and his buddy, 2 more guys, and another 2 more guys. So I've hired 6 guys on top of Bill came here 3 times after the fact on his own. So you figure 9 times I have, in the last month and a half, have paid people to work in this yard. And I bought materials, and I bought like wood and screen and chicken wire and all this other crap, right? You know, water jugs and whatever, right? Because I'm holding down the fort. I'm trying to do the responsible thing. And I bought food. And I gave my daughter almost $1,000 because she's a teenager and she's going back into the high school system, and she needed this and she needed that. She wanted to go camping, and I promised her I'd give her some money as soon as I got it for clothes. I gave back my other daughters the money that I owed her. I gave back the money that my son, that I owed him. You know, like, what do these people expect? Right? And how can they give me $800 for my grandson in trust, trying to say, well, we're giving this to you out of the kindness of our heart because we're a good government and we want you to be successful looking after your grandson, even though we got you down as a contractor and as a foster care parent. We don't even address you as a grandparent, right? But on the other hand, because you're a poor grandparent, you know, we're going to go down like this through the rabbit hole, and we're going to come up to over here, and we're going to start harassing your ass. 1, because you're a community activist and you actually speak out about these things, and we don't like the truth getting out to the public, so for sure, that's 1 strike against you. 2, you're an easy target because we've been targeting you for a long time anyway and gotten away with it, so why would we want to stop now? We wouldn't. We want to go in for the kill, right, basically. Huh? I mean, what is so bad about me other than this thumb-down troll that, you know, trying to agitate? It doesn't take away from the fact that if I was working in a restaurant making minimum wage, I would still qualify for that $800 a month under their provision through the Family Act or whatever it is that they give to me to look after Andre. So what makes it different that I'm at home on social assistance with multiple barriers? And a lot of that is based on stress. I mean, obviously, I can do paperwork. It's hard on me, though. It's burning me out. My eyes are just ready to explode. Like, seriously, people. Like, that's what I told my daughter. If I go, that's it. You don't be afraid to step up to the plate and let those people know what they are doing to us common folks by running us ragged with their well, let's be nice here and be bastards over here. Right? Because by hook or by crook, we're going to sink your boat. Basically. So anyway, I'm at the end of my ink. I have no money. I'm juggling. I didn't do my taxes for 2014 because, first of all, I can't even find the tax form. So I have to go pick up another one. And I'm exhausted. And I've been working in this yard like 4 days a week at least, right? And now I got the city riding my ass, complaining about the yard, even though I've been in it for 5 fucking years and it's not quite done yet, right? I tried to give myself to the end of summer, right? Because I'm tired. I just want to move on with life, and do something else, right? Right? And they got to speed up the process there, so I'm using what little bit of ink I have for that. And on top of having to fight for Mr. Lace now, right, through the foundation and myself, because as far as I'm concerned, he's a rescue bird, and I've been trying to work on a pet program for a long time, and, I mean, I know there's a lot of people out there that just don't give a shit because they're too busy with other things in life, and that's fine. But I still care, so I'm gonna just keep trying, right? Until I guess just one day my daughter will get up on the camera and say, "Well, people, I hate to say it, but Mama Lynn died. She died, and so it's a new chapter, right? Because I don't see like how these people can talk about BC being a great place to live, or this city, or whatever it is, when they make it too complicated, especially for the poorest of the poor. It's like being in a rat maze. It's not even a maze. It's just a maze full of rats with everybody running around biting on each other. Like, what kind of quality living is that? So anyway, I just wanted to just remind people that I don't know if I can come up with $160 for some more ink, but I am taking it to court with my dad. I have no choice. There's paperwork here that needs to be dealt with, and I don't know how to deal with it. I really don't. So somebody has to help me with that, right, at some point. And they're going to have to explain themselves, the people that instigated this, right? Whoever they are. They're going to have to explain themselves as to what gave them the right to treat my children the way they have, right? And to treat even John the way they have. So I'm going to leave it at that. That's good enough for me for now.